Okay. Informationally, I'm just gonna be having this recording device here so that we can, you know, if the situation would come where I need to present this to a judge or anything like that, I will have everything necessary to do so, as we previously agreed. It'll be only viewable by my eyes only, and nobody else other than the judges, should the time come.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Once again, informationally, just as general introductions.
Oh shit, the lights
Chief
on.
of Police Barrick Johnson. If the other three you would like to name yourselves who are in the room as well, if you wouldn't mind.
Nino Chavez.
Justin DeMarco.
Mr. Kevin.
All right. Generally, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I don't plan on this being like a full-fledged interrogation. I just want to have a discussion with all of you about like the little whispers that I've heard about certain things here and there when it comes to the people we've spoken about, and hopefully you guys can give me a little bit of something to work with, and maybe I can give you guys something as well. We'll see.
All right, perfect.
But what did you say your full name was again, sir? In the middle.
The name's Justin DeMarco.
Justin DeMarco.
And do you have any like what do you do, Mr. DeMarco? What's your occupation?
Currently, I'm just a fisherman. Been trying to tinker around with vehicles and such. You know, intern mechanic.
Okay. How long you been doing that?
About 3-4 days now.
What's your kind of relation to like Mr. Thoroughbred and Miss Thoroughbred?
Well, at one point they were former associates of mine, initiated into the gang of C4.
Gang of C4.
Correct.
Is that short for something, or is it just C4?
It's literally just C4.
Okay, so there's no like meaning behind it.
No. But I would like to say that I am a co-founder.
Co-founder, still currently? You're like within
No.
the. Okay, so you're not. So you're a co-founder, but you're no longer part of the gang.
Correct.
Okay. And when did relations between you guys like break down and fall out?
About 4 days ago.
4 days ago? What happened?
Well, you know, am I allowed to answer that?
I think you want to be honest.
So, Sonia found out I went to the cops about this information. And
Mostly because I want to hear.
they excommunicated me from Polito.
Just for clarification, this is Sonia Summers who's speaking out.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, so run that by me one more time. You got like excommunicated out of the gang, or what
Yeah, once she found out, you know, I gave her a call. I said, like, you have to listen to me. And all she said was, you got what you wanted. Never contact me again. And I haven't spoken to her since.
Okay. And given that like small video that was provided to me previously, it was stated in here that they were giving, or Siobhan was giving you like police equipment or something like that, or supplying you guys with police equipment. Is this true?
That's correct. We received IFACs, plates of armor, information such as Declan Crane going undercover, scouting around Polito, police surveillance cameras all around Polito, cops in the mountains with cameras trying to take pictures, stuff of that nature.
So just general police out, like police actions that would affect the gang or potentially hinder
Correct.
the gang.
Yeah, and
Okay.
basically general police operations that is planned or currently happening within Polito.
Okay. Have you been like threatened at all by either, I guess, like any former member of the gang to this point since you left?
Not really, but sorta in a way.
Just like alluding to the idea.
Remember,
Correct.
chat. I'm hearing some of these details for the first time. I only heard high levels.
This
so
gang is like composed of
let him chat.
primarily like
Leadbear Cook.
Polito residents, I assume. Yeah.
I'm
Correct.
not convinced much can be generated out of
How
this
did-
because it's kind of
Are you
mostly
aware of how
hearsay with
Mr.
very
and Mrs.
difficult to
Thoroughbred
verify
became involved
information.
in the gang to begin with?
The relationship between Sonya and Siobhan. Supposedly they're really close.
With an investigative timeline that is probably 2 weeks bare minimum.
And what makes you say that?
Because she told me. Sonya.
Sonia told you that her and Siobhan are really close?
Yeah, we'd all hang out at the bistro and both of them would get in the bikinis, drive away on a motorbike. Sonya would stay at Siobhan's house sometimes.
They have, just how close were they in your eyes? Like, were they friends? Was it a bit more than that? What's the general relationship there, you think?
If I'm being honest, I made a few jokes that, they're secret lovers, and I got my ass beat because of it. And a few other members also have done that, made a few remarks talking about that, got their ass beat. So,
And who beat your ass over this, if you don't mind me asking, or who?
Sonya Summers.
Okay, so Sonya, like, suck retribution based on your comments.
Correct.
Okay. At what time do you recall the kind of time frame of Mr. and Mrs. Thoroughbred joining the gang? Like how long ago it was?
Yeah, I believe they joined about 3 or 4 days before becoming deputized.
3 or 4 days before becoming deputized. So that puts us like, I don't know, almost around a month ago at this point. Perhaps more. Interesting. Is there any kind of like induction kind of ceremony or situation, like blooding in, if you will, that took place?
Yes, there was an initiation. However, what we do is not illegal whenever we initiate people.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there was an initiation for the both of them.
And what's that like? What's that process like? What were they taken through?
So our initiation process is dressing people up in bomb suits, and then they throw a rock at a fuel tanker.
Is it just any fuel tanker?
No, there's a special one.
special fuel tanker.
Correct.
And where's this tanker located?
You know, should I answer that?
You've already said enough. I mean, you can keep on going. I mean,
You know what?
I don't really care if this guy dies.
They want to out me out as a snitch. I'll fucking snitch.
Yeah,
To
that's
the
why I
fucking
did it.
Humane Labs.
So it's a tanker at Humane Labs.
That's correct.
It's like on the building, or it's just on like company grounds.
It's on
In
the
the parking
company
lot or something.
grounds.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Is there any like way for you to prove beyond your word that they are part of this gang?
I could tell he was already going to do it anyways. So he's like, go ahead. Let's see what you're willing to do.
I mean, besides the fact that
We need to know this.
they've seen some of us, you know, do some things here and there, and we help provide them with weed.
You provide them with weed.
Yeah.
And what did they say what this was for? Is this like recreational use for them, or what is? Or what's their reasoning for it? Do you, if you're privy to that information?
They wanted to make some extra money. Right? And you know, I'd get a call from Sonya here and there. Oh, hey, go protect Siobhan. They wanted to buy a house. We provided them money for a house.
So this was like prior. So they were involved in this prior to buying their house in Polito.
Correct.
How close do you think you, or would you say you were with them when they bought the house?
Honestly, not too close. I've talked to them a couple of times here and there. You know, Max would call me Archie. I'd get pissed off at him.
Okay.
And yes, at one point I did look like Archie Archer. I shaved my head, changed my fucking style.
Well, if anything, it was if it means anything to you, it was a good choice.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if they bought the houses or the house, just the two of them, or if they split it in a whole bunch of ways?
Last I was aware, it was just the two of them.
Okay. I'm very familiar with this house, and it was quite expensive.
I believe
So
we
that's,
provided 200 or 250,000 to them.
250,000.
Yeah, but in that range.
Why was that?
Well, like I said, Siobhan and Sonya are pretty close. And when Siobhan asked, hey, we want to move up to Plato, can you help us? On top of that, C4 operated as a loan business. Before all this shit.
So C4 was a loan business before, like, becoming a like functioning street gang, essentially.
That's correct. You know, if I would have ever known that Siobhan and Max were gonna be deputized and all this shit, I wouldn't have wanted them in the fucking gang. All right? Ever since they got the fucking badge, I knew if one thing happened, guess what? They would be under investigation, bring the whole fucking gang down. I did what I thought was right. And if they're gonna out me out as a snitch publicly to the fucking world,
Well, I think the 2 months.
I know how this is gonna end. All right? there's no fucking witness protection that's
I'm
gonna
glad this guy's
that's
gonna
save
die.
me. There's no protection in the world that's gonna save me.
Okay, shouldn't trust
They're
him
gonna
at all.
fucking hunt me down till the end of the earth, put a bullet in my fucking brain, and I'm gonna end up in the ocean. So might as well just fucking lay it all out.
Sonya was right.
You go to church?
He wants to say these things.
What was that?
I said, do you go to church?
I don't.
I recommend you start going.
Yeah, me too.
Are you aware, like, what's the dynamic between
No,
Mr.
he's
Thoroughbred and
listen. He's
Miss Summers?
I think Kay's thinking the same thing Nino's thinking. This guy's getting
I'm
him to
not
the
too sure,
goalpost.
you know,
Who gives a shit
just-
about his life?
that it's Siobhan's old fuck buddy, fuck toy.
Like he wants
Husband,
to say these things.
You know,
That's the
wherever she
thing.
goes, he goes.
Like take for example the tanker. He already said 70% of it. It might as well say the last 30. What are you going to stop him at that point?
So you don't know any specifics in terms of the relationship or friendship between Sonya and Max.
That's correct. You know, I say I'm a former co-founder, right? But I was still fucking at the bottom of the totem pole. I was left out of meetings. I asked to be captain. Laughed in my fucking face. Like I'm a fucking nobody in my own gang.
Okay, so I have a interesting question now.
He had grievances.
You semi-answered it with the kind of last thing you just said to a certain degree, but what is your like general motivation behind this? Because obviously you're putting
Good
yourself at great
question.
risk with everything that you know, as we
Good
just spoke about.
Question, Eric.
You're putting yourself at great risk putting all this information out there.
He's
and
a
if
means
it
to an end,
be
but it's very
needed for,
clear that there's grievances.
like some kind of
He lost
like,
his
proceeding
power in the
future,
crew and
or
he was
you know,
planning on an
an
exit
impeachment
strategy.
process or whatever
And maybe
you
he thinks
might say that it would be needed for.
he was outed as a snitch,
you know,
and therefore he
you're
wants
effectively
to
taking a knife to
burn
your
it all
hand
down.
in the middle of the
So
ocean
let him,
and waiting for the
or
shark.
at least attempt to. I'd be
What is what's in the like? What's the reason for you?
You know, just wrong place, wrong time for the video to get out. I figured if I went to, I figured if I did this right, the investigation would just stop at Max and Siobhan. That was the initial reason why I did this. At the time, I loved C4. I still did, even though I knew I was excommunicated.
Even though it might burn all of them.
But
I don't
now-
know.
I got nothing else to lose. Might as well go out with the fucking bang, right?
Jesus fucking Christ.
So your pretty much entire motivation is bringing them down.
That's correct. You know, I'm not the only one. I had another member, two
Say
members
the name.
actually, say they didn't like that Siobhan and Max were deputized. Said exactly, whenever they get what they want, they're gonna throw us under the fucking bus. That's not what I wanted. Either way, I knew it was gonna end badly for me.
So that actually brings up a good point that I was going to speak on as well. When they were deputized, what was the kind of general, you know, feeling around the gang? Like how were people generally feeling about that? Like Sonya included.
Seemed like Sonya didn't really care too much. But you know, me, I shared my concerns. They were just struck down. No one ever wanted to fucking hear me out. I told them, you know, if anything fucking happens and they get caught doing something, they're taking all of us down with them. And once the video went out, I knew that was possibly the downfall of C4. So I did it in good faith in hopes to keep the group together still.
What the fuck?
But whenever she outed me out as a snitch publicly for the whole world to see, fuck that bitch.
Are you on good terms with anybody in C4 currently?
I don't know, man. I'm
No,
Team
last I
Sonya,
heard, they all
man.
wanted to dismember me.
I'm listening to him, and I'm like, I don't know
And how
what
many
Sonya
members
did
would you say
wrong,
there
bro.
are?
I mean, I do agree
At
the
least, that you
perspective
can
of like, why
confirm at
did
the time of your
cops
departure.
get involved, right?
Minimum is 15.
How many of those do you think you could name if you're willing to?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna name all of them because I still care about them. You know, the memories are hard to erase.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones I will name, you know, Siobhan, Max, Sonya, First Temple, and then that's all I feel comfortable with naming.
So just the 4 of them.
Correct. You know, C4 probably looks at, you know, they gave me a chance, right? They gave me a shot. And that's what they do. They give nobody shots. Nobody's, right? People who are new, who want work done. Give us a call. We'll help you out. Get you on your feet. I felt like I owed Sonya my life because she gave me the one shot that I was looking for within this city.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of like Max and Siobhan, do you have any further details as to like their wrongdoings, if you will, or transgressions against the police department during their time deputized?
Well, you want the crimes that I know that have went unnoticed to the PD?
Well, whatever you're willing to give, I'm willing to listen.
Max and Siobhan pulled up on me as I was selling weed. Saw me do a handoff. I called them later that day. Was like, what the fuck are you doing that? You can't scare me while I'm pushing weed. And all he said was, don't tell me that you're doing illegal stuff. Another time, I get a call from a disgruntled member. Sonya just sat here and shot Abdul in the face. Siobhan's here. I gotta figure out where the fuck Sonya went. 15 minutes later, Sonya's up at Polito, getting arrested.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So I openly admitted to Max that I was pushing weed at that time. And nothing happened.
Problem is, all of this is hearsay. The only thing that's come out of this is this guy's a snitch, bro.
So you told Mr. Thoroughbred that you were selling weed and he did nothing about it. That's essentially what you're saying.
That's correct. Also, you know, like I said, they provided the IFACs and the information of the undercover Declan Crane snooping around Polito in a blacked out 4-door.
The only thing is, if there's any like concrete police reports that tied back to it, but you have to understand from Nino's mind that people are crying over writing reports. So what makes you think that there's going to be any reports for any of this?
Hmm. Aside from my questions, is there any information that you feel that I should know?
No, I pretty much laid the foundation out. Like I said, I was still classified as the lower guy on the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
Sonya basically gate kept Siobhan with any dealings, shit like that.
I'm going to pause this in a second. I need to talk to Kay about this. Is there anything that you may have gotten in your hands by Siobhan?
Yeah, so Bones, Slacks, and them, they took 4 IFACs from me. They had Siobhan's state ID on it. So I'm hoping that you guys have that in evidence.
You said Bones and Slacks took this from you, yes? That's what you said?
Correct. Last time I was here.
And when was that?
Yeah, this is
About
so
3-4 days ago.
If I may, how did you receive this?
I got it from one of the members of C4.
How did they receive it?
That I'm not too sure. There's always a middleman, right? Like I said, Sonya gatekeeps in any dealings with Siobhan. For all I know, there could have been a crate in the house. They could have taken it out of.
Did Siobhan give these to your group?
Correct. Yeah. Siobhan gave us the shit.
And you're
Just
certain about that?
IFACs?
I am sure about that.
The same
You know what?
IFACs that are currently in the possession of the police department?
Correct.
And are you aware of like to what extent these were given? Like how many?
Not too sure. I just know I had 4 on me.
You make it, does your group tend to rob cops?
That could be a possibility.
Are you aware of you robbing cops anytime recently?
Me personally, I have not robbed any cops.
What about the individuals that pass these along? Would they have robbed Siobhan?
Oh no, we wouldn't have touched our own members.
So you may. So you believe individuals may have robbed officers at some point.
They could have. They could have. It definitely wasn't any members in C4 that robbed Siobhan, I'll tell you that.
Just for clarity, IFACs that have a state ID on it would not have been robbed by your members from her. given the fact that she is a member, or was, I should say, a member of your crew. Am I correct in saying so?
That is correct.
You believe there was other things coming to the way of C4 other than IFAX, information, other things like that?
Yeah, I believe there was some armor and some ammo that possibly might have wound up in our possession.
What was the benefit of Siobhan Fitzpatrick providing these things to C4? What was the benefit outside of, the physical usage of these of this equipment?
Well, whenever they need money or whenever Siobhan would need weed to push on, and we paid for a majority of the house for her.
Would there be financial transactions showing this movement of money?
Yeah, they should be.
Have you wired money to her before?
I haven't personally, no.
Who has?
If I had to guess, First Temple.
Have they ever parked any vehicles at property belonging to your members?
They have not, and they wouldn't have, because Siobhan would say that her car's not clean enough for it.
Okay. Have you seen her sell weed in Polito?
Of course, I was with her when she was doing it.
And once and what happened after she sold it? Where did the money go?
It went to her, and she had someone clean it.
Okay. Did the money end up ever landing back in a bank account, as far as you're aware?
As far as I'm aware, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
She could have kept it in cash, put it in the bank account. Like I said, I don't have the closest relationship with her, right? I just be her personal security sometimes whenever she would go and push weed. Make sure nothing happened to her.
Do you have any text messages between you and her that indicate you are close as you've described?
No, I don't.
Okay. I need to can we pause here for a minute, Barrick? I need to talk to my paralegal.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, the recording device is paused for the time being. I can step on if you guys want to speak.
Okay, listen. This guy's a fucking rat bitch, but he's a useful rat bitch for the time being.
Yeah. he needs your guidance, as you could tell. He's almost afraid to answer certain things, or he beats around the bush. The way you guided him at the end there was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the guy started talking about a fucking tanker before I have a chance to fucking jump in. This guy wants to spill the fucking beans. I mean, do you care if he lives? Because this guy's a dead man walking.
I know. I just care that he stays alive until the fucking case.
All right, easy.
Which I can handle. I can keep him safe.
Holy fucking shit! This guy will say one good thing and then just continue yapping about something that discredits his statement.
You need to just stay on the line of, yes, I got these IFACs. It has their state ID. It's from Siobhan. She gives them to the gang. We get body armor. They sell weed. We've seen them selling weed. They gave me this information. Yada yada yada, and just go off for that.
Yeah.
He keeps going,
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tell him to we need to focus on this because I'm a little I don't know Barrick very well, but I'm just afraid that this other shit is gonna confuse the matter. So
Maybe are we allowed to speak with him alone, right? Without Barrett?
Yeah.
Let's just get him to regroup on this shit.
Agreed. Barrick, we just gotta talk to a client real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you're doing good, DeMarco. We just gotta get our focus back on here.
All right.
You've seen tell me if I'm missing anything, right? She was in your gang alongside Max. You know she's given you IFACs with a state ID. You've had them in your possession. You've given them to the police department, and you've witnessed her sell weed. Am I correct?
Correct.
Is there anything else out of what I just stated? Anything
Remember,
at all?
any calls or money transfers or purchases of the house, times, dates, that can help them search and find these records and line them up. So literally anything.
So we have a C4 fund. It is all through First Temple.
He's the clean guy, right?
That's correct.
See, the problem is that's completely not gonna do shit. Are you saying like money gets in his hand, and then would there be transfers between him and Siobhan? The problem
That's
is
what he's saying.
Correct.
The 200K for the house.
that's gonna be something very hard for them to tie. I think
What
there's a
about
million
transfers
different things.
from Sonia and other gang members to First, and then First to Siobhan.
Listen, you used to be the co-leader. There's got to be something.
No, whenever I tell you that Sonia has gate kept any dealings with Siobhan and Max, she has.
Okay, but you understand the inner workings of your crew, right? And I understand that you're talking about First Temple being your money guy, that, illicit activities being done, they're being funneled through him. But she must have had to have used some of those same tools. Is there anything that stands out? Keys? Does she have keys to any of your properties that got illicit shit in there?
If she's smart enough, she threw them away. But yeah, she has keys. And
Okay.
if Sonia and them are smart enough, they would fucking throw it out to the house in the Polito house in Flamingo, Polito Boulevard 2.
First Temple owns it.
Is that
If
it?
you go in that house, there's C4 fucking posters everywhere.
Are there guns in there? Anything like that?
There is.
Ooh.
Okay. So see that this is what we're talking about here. So she's got a key to a house that's got guns inside.
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't know if it applies to her, but I'm sure it does. There's a $5,000 weekly quote unquote rent that gets wired to First Temple. It ain't fucking rent.
Say that one more time.
There's a $5,000 weekly quote unquote rent payment that every member does. And it's definitely not rent. We put it in a C4 fund, and that funds everything that we do.
What does that mean?
The heist. There was one time Siobhan was like, "Oh, I saw Walker when I was in Air 1 doing the heist." I just remembered that.
Okay. Has she purchased any illicit goods from anywhere that you're aware of?
Other than our weed? No.
Like a racing chip or some shit.
The headquarter chips. She has bought that.
I don't know
her
too much
tablet
about
would
that
have
shit.
The HQ chipped for the C4 gang.
Correct.
Are you still? Okay, you're gonna have to ask questions. I don't know what the fuck that is. I know.
So basically, there's an HQ chip you could buy from a dealer up near Sandy Shores. You throw that into your tablet, all of a sudden you got access to a new app called the HQ app.
Is this the thing with the weed bullshit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it before at my house. Some of the guys were playing around with it. I didn't really give a shit at the time. Do you think, Kay, that the info can be pulled out of that, or do you think that's too dirty?
Thing is, if anyone else pops that HQ chip into their tablet, they're not going to see the same shit. Cops are already probably aware of this, but there's really nothing they can do with it.
I feel like none of that should be burned anyways. It seems.
Keep that on.
Look, DeMarco, here's the deal. You already put your entire fucking cock and balls on the table, right? You know you're dead, right?
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Okay. So how about you start like making it sound a lot more believable what the fuck is happening? Instead of the maybe not, here's like an excuse why it may not have happened. You need to shoot straight. Remember, this is a cop. They don't graduate high school. All right? You need to explain to him exactly how the fuck Sonya is tied to you. All right? And stop going down like this, oh, you know what? Actually, maybe these things didn't happen. No. Tell him fucking straight. And if you got to add some shit, then fucking add it. Make her look like the bad guy.
When they ask you, oh, what, what's the purpose of Siobhan and Dad being with you guys? Instead of saying, oh, I'm not sure, say, well, to gain power and information throughout the city, because that's what they're doing through First Temple. They're using him as their intel guy. Shit like that.
All right.
Just straightforward. Say it how it is. Clean cut. Fuck it at this point, right?
Yeah, fuck it.
Give him everything, the IFACs, the whatever. If he thinks, oh, how did you guys get those? Well, Siobhan gave them. Instead of like, well, it could have been this or it could have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, they came from Siobhan.
You don't want to be like the cop who's like, well, maybe these things didn't happen. You need to say it with fucking conviction and that there's no other possibilities. Make that clear.
Give them a reason to investigate, a reason to do their job. Check these bank records, check these phone calls.
All right.
All right. I'm going to go grab him. He's already dead, so who gives a shit? All right. He's ready.
Okay.
He does. That's why he wants this guy dead. Yeah. Because the thing is, this guy's already told these guys these things.
My understanding is obviously you guys have had time to speak on some few things.
And some of the people that Nino knows is in C4. This guy was dead before this interrogation.
Of course.
So
Eric, I'm a dead man anyways. Everyone knows that here.
He was going to say this regardless, but I was going to be here.
Or had keys to Polito Boulevard too.
Oh, my God.
All right. In there, that is our stash house. In there, we have a community crate. PD equipment would be put into there. We have a money guy.
You said would be?
Yeah, everything would be put into there. We'd go in there, take it out whenever. She has keys to it. She has access to it. And that's how we'd get that. As far as why Siobhan and Max will join C4. I mean, it's in the name, right? There's C4, explosions, bombs, right? That's what they want to provide at some point.
For what purpose?
I don't know why the fuck he just...
To cause havoc. I'm not sure.
Fine.
I could just tell you this. Sonya knows that Max used to have a terrorist organization for quite some time way back when.
Uh-huh.
And she said he would make a perfect candidate for our group. So, we brought him on. They wanted to take over the city. They wanted power. Of course, like, why wouldn't you want the two most influential people, the two most powerful people within your group?
Oh, my God.
If you do go in the house, there's C4 posted all over it.
This is all like active?
No,
Like
no, no.
actual-
Like
okay.
like branding C4.
Okay.
Bro,
She has access to the house just like the rest of us.
I like his
And there's
RP
a
though.
bunch of illegal
I
shit
do.
in there.
But like Nino's like, bruh.
Is there any way for you to prove that she has access to this house? Do you believe that she is in possession of some kind of key with access, or
She probably has a fucking key. Now, if Sonya is smart, they'd probably they'd change the locks. I don't know. I haven't even tried my key. I have not been up to Toledo since.
this is Polito Boulevard 2? You
Correct.
said
We call it the Flamingo House.
the Flamingo House. Okay.
And everything is flown through First Temple. Everything.
Absolutely everything. He's
100%.
like the middleman in all this? Or he's like, this is the same First Temple that was like an attorney, no?
Correct. Chief of staff, everything like that.
Like previously mentioned, Mr. Temple would be the one managing finances, no?
That's correct. Every member.
Hold
I
on.
don't know if Siobhan.
Bro.
Oh, Paul, I need you to go.
Focus on what's important here. Make sure that, conversation doesn't get derailed.
Should I bring up the 5K weekly rent to him?
I think recap the important bits regarding the IFAX so we don't get lost in the sauce of all these other things that are likely to be irrelevant.
All right, perfect.
Apologies.
Look,
Trying to do due diligence, make sure everything is confined and
yep, the door's open for me, by the way. So DeMarco, can we look I think the underlining pinning here is this equipment and shit. Like, can you recap that for us?
Yeah, so the way that we do it is because Siobhan had the keys to the house and we placed that PD equipment within the community chest. We'd go in there and take it whenever needed. And that's how I gathered the IFAX.
okay. And how many times would you say, like, when this equipment was kind of like put into this stash, was it ever like resupplied at some point? Did the amount of equipment in there go up at any point? Or was it just this like one kind of
Good.
stimulus?
Thank
would you
you.
say?
If I'm being honest, I'm not too sure. And most of the time I'd run in there not really looking at the quantities and just take 1, 2, 3 off the top. So I'm guessing it's been resupplied.
Okay.
Have you seen it get resupplied? You seen like the number go up, like it it go from like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 as an example?
Yeah, I've seen the supply go up. Now a specific number, I couldn't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I just know whenever I need an IFAC, I'd go in there and hey, there's one in there.
If this guy was cooking, it'd be off like a little candle or like a light bulb, like a fucking, like a fucking, like a,
between
you know, the
all of them
little,
over,
like, you know, girls, what is it, like the
phone?
fucking bake, like my easy
Would you
bake
say,
oven?
like a majority is done in person.
It's in person. Sonya's not dumb.
So they don't communicate much over the phone, or they do.
Not at all. You know, if they need to talk about something, guess what? Sonya would shoot her a call. Hey, come here. So they would do that. We'd also have radios, of course. Communicate over there. As far as text, you're not gonna find anything on Sonya, to be honest with you.
Okay. Said Siobhan has access to this stash house. Does Max, or do you not know?
He does.
The thing is, like, I can't help too much here, right? Because otherwise it's gonna look like we made up the story. He's got to cook a little on it on himself. It's very wishy-washy. The thing is, like, if I come in and I'm like, oh, like,
okay,
oh, did this, like, it's gonna make Barrick not believe it, you know?
Has either Siobhan or Max, like in your presence or to your knowledge, made any comments or negative opinions out about the police department or any government entities at any point?
No.
Okay.
Have any of their businesses been passed?
I'm not too sure. I know they wanted to open up the Polito Bistro.
He is, yeah. Hmm.
So just once again to just double back briefly. Actually, disregard. Never mind.
Poor Barrick, man. This guy's great role play, by the way, but man, this is I honestly think this is an extremely
Tell me
tough
more
sell.
about if you don't mind, like your kind of relationship with Max.
There really isn't one, to be honest with you. I mean, just talk to him here and there whenever he'd come into the house, out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there's literally, I cannot stress this enough, how Sonya has gate kept Siobhan and Max this whole time. I know once they became deputized, right? Sonya wanted to keep all that shit kind of split in half. But, you know, Siobhan would sell weed with me and then go on duty right after.
We got to get Siobhan to kill him.
So just for clarification, one final time.
I'm going to talk to Kay
in
about
terms
that.
of equipment provided.
I feel like that's the saving
them.
grace alongside.
IFAX, armor,
This is so twisted.
ammunitions. Is there anything else?
I don't know how. Nino doesn't know how he feels about him. I have no idea.
Or is it just essentially the like 3 pillars, if you will?
And
I
make
think
this
those are
his
just the
dying
3 pillars.
declaration.
I didn't see anything else in there that was, you know, to my knowledge, PD equipment. And that obviously the information provided to us about the undercover scouting that was happening up in Plato.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any other additional information that any of the 3 of you think I should be privy to? Or anything you would like to provide?
I mean, we're here to kind of make sure he doesn't get fucked here.
All right. Now, how do you think he would? What do you think would come out of this?
I mean, that's kind of up to you, right? I'm hearing some of this for my first time. I'm kind of taken aback a little bit, to be honest. May I ask some questions, Barrick? If you want to do it,
Yeah, you want this to be on the record or off the record?
Off the record.
Okay. I'm gonna turn off the recording device temporarily, and I'm gonna go turn the camera off. Just one moment.
Look,
Okay.
look, has see, a lot of this conversation got me kind of concerned here.
Mm-hmm.
A cop selling shit? Like, has this been like a thing recently? Like,
Not to the best of my knowledge, no. This is the first that I've heard of it.
gotcha. Is
At least, other than like years and years ago.
in the past, I understood like officers get, you know, raided and whatnot to make sure they don't got any equipment. I mean, is that something that's been done? Is that done with her?
It happens if we have reason to believe that they could be like harboring any equipment and stuff like that, but
It's not like
which
standard.
I'd say
I
it's
believe
not
this is reason to believe, no?
Well, yeah, I didn't say that it wasn't. It definitely is now, but I'm saying it's not like common practice as soon as everybody is released or fired.
Yeah.
It's just expected that they turn in their equipment. It probably should be though. So
Yeah, I mean, like termination, right?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm wrong. It's been a minute. I thought it was like, I'm not saying recently, but I'm talking like years and years ago.
Yeah.
But I can understand like it's a much bigger department than, you know, 20, 25 cops. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much. I mean, I this is the first time I've heard about this. I'm actually appalled and shocked. Jesus fucking Christ. You gonna be able to watch over this guy, Barrick? Because I'm just here to make sure he doesn't say anything stupid. But after hearing all this guy might need a little bit of help.
I mean,
there is nothing anyone can do to protect me. All right, because 5 days, 5 hours, 5 years from now, she'll come after me.
Yeah, my general fear is if we do show you more attention, that will kind of put the spotlight on you even more. I would like to protect you as much as we possibly can, if that is what you're comfortable with. However, you know, like I previously said, how much are they aware of you, like talking to, you know, other groups, if you will, or even like government entities?
They know I talk to the cops. I don't know how, but you know, Sonia asked me the last time I talked to her, what did I say to the cops? I knew that was the nail in my fucking coffin.
So they know you've been speaking to police.
Yep.
You think that Siobhan would know that you've been talking to the cops?
I could tell you exactly who told. Jordan Ackridge.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Why do you say that? What's her involvement with that?
Because I told her right before I went to talk to Sheriff Bones.
Who is that? My own context.
She was a dispatcher receptionist like a month or two ago.
Do you think Siobhan would ever hurt you? Given all the circumstances.
She's fucking crazy, so I would say yeah. And if she doesn't, Max will definitely fucking kill me. Sonya will definitely fucking kill me.
What was the name again?
It's Jordan Ackridge. Brunette woman, kind of southern, if I recall.
Yep.
No, there's not much more than that.
She's not with the police department anymore?
No.
And she's friends with Siobhan?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Siobhan.
And now they're both fired.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to kind of disturb the waters here, if you will. So forgive me. But,
Mark, is there a way to see if those IFACs were put into evidence or anything?
yeah, I can figure that out when we're done here. That was what I planned on doing. Start turning over stones.
Okay.
So obviously, I was gone for a degree of time, so I'm not as fully privy to what some people have been working on quite yet, but I've heard a few things. So. But anyway, I guess this is more directed for you, Kay, or maybe the three of you in general. But what do you want out of this, and what are you looking to have out of this?
Well, me, just justice. Siobhan and Dap have ran the city through their own personal wants and gain for too long. It's brought the city to its knees, to a all-time low. It's not what's best for the people. They've been acting as criminals, dictators, making themselves commissioner, pulling the strings, bribing people, threatening people on the council. I mean, I know quite a few things about them as well. I mean, I am the guy who shot Cantor for death. I am aware that they
Shamus, say with the two
Cantor,
minds.
dropped the pay of the hospital, made her vote with them. Proof's in the pudding, bud.
Proof's in the pudding, baby.
And would you stand up on trial against them if need be with that information? Would you stand up in front of the city council with that information?
Damn right.
All right. Well,
how aware are you guys to like the actual like impeachment process?
I'm not too aware, but I'm sure Nino is.
Very aware.
Mr. Chavez?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that to you?
What? If they do?
Like the impeachment process.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me how would I feel if they got impeached?
No, I'm asking you what the impeachment process is.
I mean, it's detailed in legislation. I mean, you don't. There's not really a statute. They just need to be shown having like a dereliction of duty, corruption, etc., while in office.
Mm-hmm. But then it's put to a vote amongst the city council itself.
Hold up.
They tried to pass legislation on that. I don't know if that went through.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Pretty much all this time is that
I don't
one way
think
or
that's
another, if
actually
something were
true.
to
What
be
is it?
done, it would go to a vote.
What's this?
The problem with the council is,
It becomes a very Game of Thrones kind of matter at a certain point. In terms of who's on whose side.
well, I think the vote will be clear. I think Cantor knows the truth about him. I mean, you got Solomon, who's apparently being impeached, but I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
He hasn't even had any hearings or anything about that.
It
You
seems
got
that-
Murphy Braun, who's actively trying to impeach them.
That's it, though. The city treasurer.
I don't
who
think
might
that's
have,
true.
You know, this is
I know
shot
it's
at
been
anybody.
borked, but it
The city
should
treasurer
fix
who might
itself.
have been against him is dead. I don't know who the city treasurer is now, because this is something I've kind of been, I guess, keeping my eye on ever since I was put in my position, because I'm no stranger to the way.
What's
a
the
lot of
link
things
to the
work.
MDT?
And as much as I will
I got
play dumb to a lot of things quite often, the reality is the board has always been kind of swung in his way
Oh, it is
when he's
fucked.
been in office, especially in his first term.
Wait, you can't
And
even
now-
sign in right
well,
now.
actually, in
What
his
the
first
fuck?
term, he probably would have had more people against him than he does now. But it's realistically
Oh yeah, it's hyper
Murphy is
scuffed.
against him, and I think possibly Cantor would be against
Yeah, the
him.
MDT
Well, let
link
me tell
isn't
you this,
even
Barry.
working.
Since you've been gone, a lot has changed. A lot has come out about these guys. There's a bunch of Twitter
Mhm.
leaks, Twitter leaks, and I think more people hate them now than ever. I think they see their true colors
Yeah.
and what they've done and the manipulation tactics they used and extortion, bribery, the games they've been playing. I think the people are now
Yeah.
privy to it.
Beric, there is.
Oh, go ahead.
It is worth. See, I wish I can't even get into the fucking MDT here on my cell phone.
Mhm.
But I think it's worth taking a look at that again because I think there's options outside of requiring the council to vote for impeachment. So,
How close are you guys to Soze?
I've chatted with them.
he's a prick cop,
But-
but he makes more sense than a lot of people right now.
Yeah, he has a lot of good points, I believe, on the Constitution and just how things work in general.
He can read
lot
beyond a
of-
fifth grade level and think
Yeah.
critically.
He can really help break down the corruption at a legal level of our Constitution is now being walked all over.
Okay, so objectively, we can pursue other avenues. However, if it would come down to a vote, securing one of the votes, I feel like would be in the hands of Soze. So
Nino's such a
unfortunately, my ass.
motherfucker right now. He's definitely.
I feel like probably swaying Cornwood's decision would be in the hands of Soze.
Well, I think he could do that. I think we can get Cornwood's vote, Cantus, Murphy, Solomon. Now, Solomon, can he have a vote even though he's in the
Solomon,
process of being impeached? I'm not really sure how that works. He's been in the process of being impeached for weeks now at this point with no word of anything.
Nino's a cunt and love it. Nino
Yeah, I don't
has
know.
been beaten the fuck down, and he
I'm
doesn't
not
have much
entirely
of
sure
a
as to the
filter at this
dealings of
point.
what's
Is
gonna
really
happen
what
with
it
that.
is.
I believe there's supposed to be a city council meeting today, but
Like he doesn't have time to
I don't know.
like
I
explain
would have to
thoughts
speak
because
to
like
some other people. I just got
every
back yesterday, so I haven't-
extension to
Yeah,
a
we'll
thought
speak to
just turns
everybody.
into having to like pick at
yeah, if something
pick
is going to
pick,
be
pick,
done,
pick.
now's the time. And as much as a lot of people, I'm sure, would like to say that, you know, they only have a few weeks left or whatever, however long it is, they can say that, but something should still be done about it. Either way.
Yeah, it's just
100%.
blunt and
You're the man
If we
for
blunt
the job.
and
have the
brutal.
opportunity to.
By the way,
Nino has
Yeah,
found very little
Sure,
reason to
yeah.
be respectful,
What does that mean?
right? When
you got all the info needed
he's been
now.
met with
Now you just gotta
extreme
be okay.
disrespect over the simplest
Yeah,
requests.
I mean, we can see what we can do. I'm gonna, you know, for lack of better terms, I'm
That's
sure
the best way
you know,
to.
quite a few people in this room have PTSD from the sentence, but I'll look into it.
You know, I have noticed a difference in just how things are handled for
How
certain
so?
people. I mean, someone could be at the food court and say, "Hey, yeah, I saw Mr. K smack that guy," and then I got a warrant. I'm just noticing different people are handled in different ways, and I hope justice is finally fucking served.
Yeah, I mean, things are really tricky down to a personal level of how people deal with things, and I'm sure we're all no strangers to that. But you know, we're gonna force things as much as we want, but some people are gonna go against the grain.
Why
And that's on a
don't
personal level
why
more
doesn't
than anything else.
Nino help
I can't
prosecute?
speak to that specific situation, but
Bro, Nino would never prosecute for the
we
cops.
can,
He's willing to work with them
there's a lot here to
functionally.
think on with what we've talked about today, and looking forward to getting down and breaking it up.
All right.
Okay, that sounds
So
good to me.
Yeah.
you guys said you or Marco said that you guys spoke to people previously. Was it in this kind of setting, or what was the kind of situation?
This would be my first, just to be clear.
He
This is exactly where we sat.
yeah, it was with his other lawyer was Damien. Originally, I called Coyote because the video leaked on Twitter, right, of the convo I had with him. That's how I got involved.
Mhm.
So I had a convo with him. That got leaked on Twitter. Next, you know, everyone's hearing about, oh, they're in this gang, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Info's out there. Let's see if something could be done with this. DeMarco was under the he felt like, you know, it's already out there, so I might as well put this info to use. I'm already getting fucked from this. So he figured he'd do what's right and try to talk to the cops. So I called up Coyote. He got a lawyer, and they went to go talk to Coyote. Coyote, he was there for the questioning, right, DeMarco? It was him, Bones, and Slacks.
That's right.
And then apparently they did it off the record, though, right?
That's right.
And then Coyote was kicked off the case afterwards. So
By
since
who?
then, I couldn't tell you. He didn't tell me anything about it. Apparently, he's not allowed to investigate anything ever again.
Yeah, it's a very, very bad timing, but you know, I understand how that looks on your side of things.
Yeah, so I contacted you because I'm like, you know what, DeMarco, if this is what you really want to do, just go to the fucking top here. If weird things are going on and we feel that weird things are going on, let's just speak to the fucking chief.
Mm-hmm. And who else was present? You said it was Coyote and
It was Coyote, Bones, and Slacks.
Bones and Slacks were present for the whole thing?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know how all this is going to go, but things will probably get very interesting, potentially.
They always do. They always do.
Yeah, yeah, I got a lot to think on.
We'll be in touch then.
All right.
Let's go to you guys out.
I mean, this is a impossible case.
Unlock the container. You pick yourself up. I'll
Someone
take
up
you guys
there, you
around
heard
for-
that?
Yeah, I think it's Gladys.
Yeah.
What kind of dressing you like on your knuckle sandwich? Cause I'm about to serve you up nice.
It's a nice building.
It's not bad. It's all right.
Oh. All right.
One overlook handle is gonna burn the whole bitch down, though.
Yeah,
All this wood.
Yeah.
Take care, Barrett.
There you guys
All
have
right.
one.
You able to find a ride from here?
I could take him back to his car.
All right, easy. All right.
Come on.
Well, let me know if you need anything. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.